It's summer in Florida with the sun blazing, the asphalt sizzling, and humidity fit for a sauna. So how do you stay cool? Probably go indoors and turn your air conditioning on full Arctic blast. Well, you can thank Florida's Dr. John Gorey for this luxury. In the summer of 1851, the good doctor patented an ice-making machine. Apalachicola's famous inventor of mechanical refrigeration also birthed our modern air conditioning. It's been said that without air conditioning, Florida would not have become the fourth most populated state in the nation and would have remained only a winter destination instead of a year-round paradise. Today, it's hard to imagine life without air conditioning. We at the Florida Public Service Commission were curious, so we asked several seniors from the Tallahassee Senior Center who do remember life before air conditioning. When they were growing up, indoor and automotive air conditioning was still rare or non-existent. But they didn't complain about the hot weather. They persevered. We hope you enjoy hearing how they beat the heat and kept cool in the good old days. During the hot summer months, we're thankful for air conditioning. But what did people do to keep cool before air conditioning? Betty Lou Joannis explains.
Well, I think we tried to dress as cool. Most of us wore sundresses during the summer. And we tried to calculate what our activities were. Our mothers did not cook really hot meals in the evening particularly. You were very aware of actually everything you did.
Lynn Powell, a former teacher from Miami, remembers very hot days in the old schoolhouse.
Well, I'm from Miami, and about the same, but I remember that I taught in schools that were unair-conditioned. So the children were hot, I was hot. You tried to get them as close to the windows as you could, and you also had huge industrial fans that would blow right on them.
Mary Louise Bachman vividly remembers the breeze in the hallway and the rooms with high ceilings in her grandmother's house.
But when we would come up here to visit my grandmother, it was always a treat to be in one of these houses that has the hallway down the middle of the house, and that would catch the breeze, and you never went in the parlor anyway, and so it was shut off. And of course, as you were saying, the heat up here is different from what it is in Miami. And I would come up in the summer and it would be hot, and the gnats were out, and the sand, and you had to work in the garden. And the only thing you could do was, and ice was scarce up here. You didn't have a lot of ice. And so there was a whole lot of fanning going on.
Jensen Watts recalls tall, narrow windows that let the cool air in and kept the hot air out.
You'll notice that all the buildings, homes and all, had very narrow windows, and they were very tall. So they would open the bottom one, and then they would open the top one. Of course, the cool air would come in the bottom one and go out the top. So, and they had high ceilings. A 12-foot ceiling was nothing unusual, see, and that's the way they got the hot air out and the cool air in. Have the ceiling fans they got now. At the beginning, we didn't have any ceiling fans at all. We had none on the farm at all either. Ceiling fans were something that come along a little later. Of course, businesses had them and taverns had them, but homes did not have them.
What other little tricks did they have to stay cool? Jensen found some cool places to go.
There was a place in town to go in the summer. Ice cream shop. Any of the restaurants would be cool. Mainly, yes.
And the ladies enjoyed homemade popsicles.
Did y'all ever eat popsicles or fudgesicles?
Oh my, yes. We even made our own.
Yeah.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
How'd you make your own?
Well, you'd freeze the orange juice, and it would be good for you.
And just put it in an ice tray.
Yeah.
So no,
I listened for the ice cream man.
Oh, that's right. Ding, ding, ding.
So y'all-
No, they played music.
That's true.
But Violet's trick was simply dressing for the weather.
Oh, yeah. I remember the first halter I had. You remember the little string around your neck?
A lot of people are spoiled today because of some of these luxuries, such as air conditioning, as these three ladies all suggested.
Oh, my goodness.
We're not as tough as we used to be.
Not as tough. Okay.
Very true.
We are more pampered, I think. We expect our creature comforts.
I really didn't pay any attention to the heat. It didn't bother us that much because we had to do work that was outside.
And while they don't long for the good old days, these seniors do have favorite memories during life without air conditioning, including visits to the river, the ocean, the city swimming pool, or the swimming hole in some cases.
Well, there was a river down the road. We did a lot of swimming.
I think the best memory would be in the ocean when it wasn't very rough and you just sort of rode the waves up and down until you got all crinkly fingered.
What about you?
Riding our bikes to Venetian Pool in Miami.
Oh my goodness.
What was that like?
Well, it was, you'd get there and you'd be so hot, but then you could jump in this wonderful, fancy, it was a pool built out of rock, and it had caves in it and all this stuff, and just enjoying being cool and comfortable. And then you get on your bike and you ride back home and you're sweaty again, so.
Swimming pools were very important, and they were not prevalent. They were very rare. And so to get to go swimming was very, or to, with the family to the beach, that was
yeah.
really special.
We, in a little town that my mother worked in, had a shale pit, which was a big gravel pit, but it had grown up around and was very green and all and very pleasant. But we would start up there to go swimming. Now, of course, our parents all told us don't go near the place, so we all went there. But it was always comical because we'd start out with a couple of dogs. And by the time we reached Shale Pit, we'd have 30 dogs because they all knew we were going swimming and they wanted to go too.
Hot summers always had a way of thinning out the pews in the hot, stuffy churches, but the resourceful ministers always found a way to return their flocks. A popular one was distributing paper fans, compliments of local businesses and the funeral homes, to keep the congregation cool in the summer. Betty Lou Joannis and Reverend Henry Steele explain.
There's one thing I remember, I referred to what you wore. It was customary up here that the ministers, when the weather got hot, they would announce to the congregation that the men would not wear their jackets or ties during the summer. That was a big deal.
I remember when they put huge electric fans in the church. And I heard one lady say a few minutes ago, the minister announced men could take off their shirts. Oh, that was a big thing, to take off their shirts during the... Well, it's much more comfortable. People aren't busy fanning. You don't see fans going all over everywhere. Hand fans.
So maybe that's a good thing. That
It's a good thing. I think the hot weather caused people to shed some of the formal type suit and ties and dressy. People become a little more casual, a whole lot more casual in church attire. I don't know much more than that. People can stay in church longer. I don't know. I don't think they do.
As wise folks who survived the hot summers, they offer young people some simple ways to conserve energy and also save money on their utility bills, especially in the typical home where air conditioning uses more electricity than anything else.
Oh, I just had new windows put in my house, and I am supposed to fit or save a lot of energy.
Put your thermostat up. You don't have to be 72 degrees or 68. Put it up to 80. It's not going to kill you.
What about, do you ever tell grandchildren to turn off their lights?
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Or appliances,
Yeah.
or close the door. It's one of the main ones.
Yeah. Don't want to air condition the outside.
I think that's another thing that we don't pay enough attention to, because with all the new technology, everything is hooked into the electric, and turning lights off, that kind of thing. Also, controlling your AC, especially in a large place.
Air conditioning has definitely changed the way we live.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Most homes had a screen porch or a front porch, and there was a lot of visiting. Yes. But don't forget that most of us did not have televisions either when we were growing up.
And children were outside a lot
Yes.
more. People
Outside
were
playing.
outside a lot more.
So, do the seniors long for the good old days without air conditioning?
Every once in a while, every once in a while.
And why would you think back like that?
Well, you could go out in the woods and pick blackberries and raspberries and play with the animals outside.
Not at all. I was always a person who did not prefer hot weather. I prefer cold weather any day. And I don't know why I was born in August.
Hear about people yearning for the good old days. Do y'all yearn for the good old days without air conditioning?
No.
So, the next time your air conditioner clicks on, remember how folks used to live without it. Maybe take their advice. Turn your thermostat up a notch, go for a swim, and enjoy a fudge sickle.